welcome to week 4. We have made it to the end of the September Wellness Challenge. And if week 3 taught us anything, it's that we are going to need to balance on the surfboard, because if we're going to sink or swim, it's all about this universal constructs that really feed into this trifecta of change. So let's dive in. Today we're going to learn how to and explore sinking and swimming and the trifecta of change. And so here's what every experienced swimmer knows. The water doesn't care about your intentions, your past failures, your perfect plans. The ocean responds to one thing only: your actions in the present moment. And those actions are governed by 3 core feedback loops that either keep you afloat or pull you under. So let's do a quick depth check. Think about a recent challenge in your life, health, relationships, work, anything. In that moment, did you feel you were swimming, or did you feel like you were treading water? Did you feel like you had purpose, or did you feel like you were starting to sink? Just notice it. Let go of the judgment and just be present with that. So let's talk about this universal truth about change. After decades of research across psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral change, we've discovered something that's remarkable. All sustainable change, whether it's recovering from addiction, building a business, healing from trauma, or establishing wellness habits, it all depends on these same 3 core feedback loops. I call them the trifecta of change. This identity coherence that you believe who you are. Environmental alignment is what surrounds and supports you. And behavioral momentum is the compound effect of your daily actions. I share this a lot in our wellness challenges, and I thought it would be important, and this would be a great place to really break down what we're actually doing. Because next month, we're gonna look more about purpose, and now we're gonna find out why. So let's explore these 3 essentials swimming techniques that keep you afloat in any ocean. Identity coherence is like your body's natural buoyancy. When your actions align with your core identity, you naturally flow. When they don't, you're fighting against yourself, using energy to stay above water instead of moving forward. You're panicky. You've got anxious dissonance. Environmental alignment is like reading the currents and tides. Swimmers who work with the water's natural flow move efficiently. Those who fight against the environmental exhaust themselves. And behavioral momentum is like your stroke technique and rhythm. Consistent practice movements compound over time, creating forward progress with less effort. And here's the crucial insight. You need all 3. They work together in tandem, and they compound and grow with each other. Identity without environment leads to good intentions with no support systems. You'll tread water but not move forward. Environment without behavioral momentum is like having the perfect swimming pool but never actually swimming. And behavior without identity coherence is like swimming frantically in the wrong direction. So when all 3 are aligned, something magical happens. You stop fighting the water and you start dancing with it. Now that we've seen the swimming practice, let's see the sinking patterns. How the trifecta starts to break down and we start to feel as if we're drowning. Kind of coming back to week 1, that mindset shift, those actions, those feelings, and those behaviors. What are we doing to stay afloat? So let's be honest about what sinking looks like, because we've all been there. Understanding these patterns isn't about judgment, it's about recognition so that you can course correct before you go under. It's about those pivot points. So in identity incoherence, I'm not that kind of person. This is when your wellness goals conflict with your core identity. You want to be healthy, but you fundamentally see yourself as someone who doesn't do exercise or isn't good at taking care of themselves. What sinking feels like is you sabotage your own progress right when things start working. You hear yourself saying, "This isn't really me," or "I'm just fooling myself." Your inner critic gets louder as you succeed. That self-sabotage that comes with trauma. The feedback loop is success, identity threat, self-sabotage, failure, identity confirmation, repeat. This is like trying to swim while we're wearing concrete shoes. We might make progress for a while through sheer willpower, but eventually the weight of identity incoherence will pull you down. And so exploring the environmental misalignment is like swimming against the current. This happens when your surrounding actively work against you and your wellness goals. Your pantry is full of processed food when you want to eat healthier. Your social circle discourages healthy choices. Your schedule has no space for self-care, or your physical environment creates friction for positive habits. And what sinking feels like is you feel you're working twice as hard for half the results. Every healthy choice requires enormous willpower because everything around you points in the opposite direction. Your feedback loop is good intention, environmental resistance, increased effort, decision fatigue, reverting to old patterns, environmental reinforcement, and repeat. This is like trying to swim upstream in a powerful current. You might make progress through intense effort, but the environment will have you eventually worn down and back into your old patterns. Let's talk about, finally, behavioral inconsistency, the erratic swimmer. This is when you don't build on each other through your actions. So you'll go out for 3 days, then completely stop for 5. You'll try to change everything at once and then abandon everything when it becomes overwhelming. It's this all or nothing. Those New Year's resolutions that psychologists keep telling you not to do. This is you. This is you. If you can't get past January 13th, pay attention. There's no rhythm. There's no progression. It's no compound effect. And so what sinking feels like is you're constantly starting over. You have moments of progress followed by periods of regression. You feel like you're working hard but not getting anywhere. The feedback loop, intense effort leads to unsustainable pace, leads to burnout, leads to a complete stop, leads to guilt and frustration, which leads to intense effort to make up for it and repeat, binging and restricting, binging and restricting. This is like thrashing in the water, lots of splashing and energy expenditure, but no efficient moving forward. You're just kind of sitting there hoping that you're going to get somewhere, and then you don't. So now let's explore the swimming patterns. What happens when the trifecta works and we start getting that flow state we explored last week? This is when all the elements are together, and it's not theoretical concepts, they're practical patterns that you can implement starting today. And we're going to explore it this week, so keep going. Identity coherence is becoming versus doing. Instead of "I want to lose weight," try "I'm becoming someone who nourishes their body." Instead of "I should exercise more," try "I'm developing into an active person." This isn't positive thinking, it's identity-based change. It's finding intentions that lean into what you want and connecting to who you really are. The successful swimmer thinks healthy choices aren't something I'm force myself to do. They're expressions of who I'm becoming. The feedback loop, Identity vision, aligned action, small success, and identity reinforcement causes easier aligned action and compound success, and this goes on repeat. So research shows that when people adopt identity-based goals, I am a runner, rather than outcome-based goals, I want to run a marathon, they're 4 times more likely to maintain the behavior long-term. Your brain doesn't like cognitive dissonance. When your identity and actions align, you naturally make choices you support both. And next is environmental alignment, designing your ocean. Master swimmers don't just adapt to their environment, they strategically choose and design it. They train in pools that support their goals, surround themselves with other swimmers, and remove obstacles to consistent practice. And in the environmental design principles are reduce friction for good habits, make healthy choices easier than unhealthy ones, increase friction for unwanted behaviors. Don't rely on willpower when you can rely on smart design. Curate your social environment. Spend time with people who model the behaviors you want to develop. Optimize your physical space. Your bedroom should promote good sleep. Your kitchen should promote healthy eating. The feedback loop on this is supportive environment creates healthier and easier healthy choices. Consistent action, positive results, which causes more environmental investment and even easier choices, and this goes on repeat. This isn't about perfection. It's about tilting the odds in your favor. Every environmental adjustment is like adjusting the current to support your swimming instead of fighting against it. The power of behavioral momentum, the power of consistent strokes. The best swimmers aren't necessarily the strongest or fastest. They're the most consistent and efficient. They understand that sustainability trumps intensity and that small daily actions compounds its extraordinary results. Momentum principles are start stupidly small. Better to do something tiny every day than to do something big occasionally. Stack your habits, link new behaviors to establish routines. Track leading indicators. Measure inputs or actions rather than outputs or results. Celebrate small wins. Your brain needs positive reinforcement to build strong neural pathways. The feedback loop for this is small, consistent action causes gradual progress, which increases confidence, creates slightly bigger action, more progress, stronger identity, even more consistent action, and it goes on repeat. So let's look at the integration point when sinking becomes swimming. Here's where the magic happens. The moment where these 3 elements start working together instead of against each other. It's like that pivotal moment when someone learning to swim stops fighting the water and starts working with it. The coherence cascade is when your identity, environment, and behavior align. They create what I call a coherence cascade. Each element strengthens the others in an upward spiral. Your evolving identity makes it easier to make environmental changes that support who you're becoming. Your supportive environment makes consistent behavioral feel natural rather than forced. Your consistent behaviors provide evidence that strengthens your new identity, and your stronger identity motivates further environmental improvements. And the cycle accelerates and goes faster and faster. So let's review 3 diagnostic questions to apply the trifecta of change on your own wellness journey this week. You're going to need to become skilled at diagnosing which elements need attention. Here are 3 questions master swimmers ask themselves regularly. Question 1, identity coherence check. Are my wellness goals aligned with who I believe I can become? Red flags, you find yourself saying, I'm not the kind of person who. Success feels foreign or uncomfortable. You're sabotaged yourself when things start working. The swimmer's solution is reframe your goals in identity terms. Instead of I want to lose 20 pounds, try I'm becoming someone who nourishes their body well. Question 2, environmental alignment check. Is my environment making healthy choices easier or harder? The red flags, healthy choices require enormous willpower. You feel you're swimming upstream constantly. Your surroundings reinforce old patterns. The swimming solution is make one environmental change this week. Remove a barrier to a healthy habit or add a prompt for a positive behavior. And question 3, behavior momentum check. Are my daily actions building on each other or working against each other? Red flags, you're constantly starting over. Your efforts feel sporadic and disconnected. You have good days and bad days with no consistency. The swimming solution, focus on smallest possible daily action that aligns with your identity and environment and build from there. The ocean life will always have waves, currents, and storms. Your wellness journey will have plateaus, setbacks, challenges you haven't even imagined yet. But that's not a bug. It's not a feature. It's how you develop the skills that serve you, not just your health, but your every area of your life. Master swimmers don't calm the seas. They overcome them. They develop skills in any condition. And now you have those skills. Your water is calling. It's time to dive in with confidence, swim with purpose, and help others learn to navigate their own oceans. Welcome to the community of intentional swimmers. The real adventure is just beginning. So stay tuned. We're looking at purpose next week and how to problem solve, and we're diving into the forest metaphor and how we can start seeing the forest between the trees.